Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
What was that?
Just I never know if my voice is gonna sound normal or not with me like recovering from this cough that I've had.
For forever.
Yeah.
This has been like the perma cough. Travis has been having like congestive stuff for like a month now.
Yeah.
Something like that. Your disembodied arm is floating behind my head again.
Yeah. That's where it goes.
That's where it goes. So we're on our way down to my appointment, and I am going to be 37 weeks in a couple of days. This is kind of a big appointment from my understanding. They're going to be checking baby's position. They even said they have like a bedside ultrasound that they can do to like confirm her position. I do not think she is head down, and she hasn't been head down at the last like appointment or two that I've had. So if she is still not head down, which I don't think she is, then we will probably be discussing scheduling an ECV to try to flip her manually. Whoa. Hang on, everybody. Red light. And that would happen sometime next week. Green light, go, go, go!
Vroom.
Vroom, vroom. And then we also may or may not be discussing an induction date at this appointment. I'm going to ask about it. They said previously that we can't get that scheduled until I'm 37 weeks. And that would be scheduled for sometime during the 39th week. But I'm like this close to being 37 weeks. So I'm thinking that they may be able to get that scheduled today. Oh, that sun is bright. I mean, it's nice. It's like warming my soul, but blinding my eyeballs. Very bright, as Rena would say. You can tell she's a winter baby, I think. That's what I blame it on. The fact that we like couldn't leave the house for 3 months or something after she was born.
When we did finally get her outside, she would like scream when the sun was on her.
Yeah.
Like start crying immediately. Also this morning she said, very dark outside.
Did she?
We walked out. Yeah.
That's funny. We had to leave the house a little early today on account of this appointment, so Rena had to be awakened. Had to be woke up. We woke her up earlier than is normal today. So what else happens at this appointment? They are going to do the test for Group B strep, which is not like a huge deal. It's just like a swab, and then if I have that, it just means antibiotics when I go to deliver. So not a big deal, but that's happening today. And then they're also going to be checking me, I think, to see if I'm like at all dilated or what's going on with that. So not that necessarily means anything. I could be dilated and not, be anywhere near going into labor, or I could be not dilated at all and go into labor tomorrow, really.
Hopefully not tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully not tomorrow. We do have plans for this weekend, just to like finish up our yard work that we have going on, and stocking up like our pantry stuff, our freezer stuff, all of our kitchen stuff, so that we're kind of ready for postpartum. So we have sort of big plans for this weekend. We have big plans for every weekend at this point. We're just trying to get like as ready as we can so that we can relax when baby is finally here. I did have a small concern, which sent me to labor and delivery the other day. So that was exciting. Never done that before. I noticed at like, 3:30 in the afternoon that I hadn't really felt the baby moving much that day. Like, it kind of just occurred to me, and I was trying to think back. I'm like, I couldn't really remember feeling her much at all. And normally I feel her, you know, constantly throughout the day, and like big, strong movements. So I realized that, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of concerning. You know, especially like the later you get in pregnancy. It's a myth that you're not supposed to feel the baby anymore at the end of pregnancy, or that like the movements slow down. There's not as much room, so they might not feel, you know, as strong as they normally do, but you should definitely still feel, you know, baby moving the normal amount all the way up until when you give birth. So they say a decrease in fetal movement is not good. So I was like, well, I'll just see. So I waited it out like an hour. I like ate some grapefruit, laid down. I was really like focusing on like feeling kicks and movements and stuff, and counting, and it was just like not the normal level. So I was like, well, I guess I better call. So I called at this point it was the after hours like nurse triage line. They did like their screening questions, and talked me through that, and then ultimately recommended that I go into labor and delivery to get her checked out. So I'm like, well, I would for sure rather go and have it turn out to be nothing, and that I'm just paranoid and everything is perfectly fine, than not go and regret that. So I was like, okay, I guess we'll go in. So I brought my mom along because Travis had to go pick up Renna, and my mom and I went and checked into labor and delivery, and they got me a bed in the triage room and hooked me up to some monitors, and did a non-stress test on the babies, which is basically where they just monitor her heart rate for a period of time, and movements. They can see like the movements too with the monitors, and just making sure that there were enough, that her heart rate looked normal during that period of time. I was hooked up like an hour, and that she was having enough movements and enough like accelerations in her heart rate, which I guess is good and what they look for. And she did. She was fine. So they sent me home and said, yep, you're good, proceed. And of course, like as soon as I got there and got hooked up to the monitors, I started feeling her moving around like crazy. She even got the hiccups while I was there, which was really funny to like see the movements on the monitor, and you could like hear it because they're like hooked up to your belly, and so the movement was causing some like feedback almost with the monitor. Which was kind of funny, but reassuring because I was like, you know, worried at that point. But yeah, she started moving quite a bit, little stinker. So it was 2 days ago, and then all day yesterday, her movement felt normal to me. Just doing her angel baby stuff. So we will see what all shakes out during this appointment, and we'll let you know how it goes. Wish us luck. She's head down. Woohoo! Woohoo! She, yeah, that was a shocker. I was not expecting to hear that news. I thought she was definitely sideways in there, which just goes to show you how little I know about anything. To be fair though, the midwife also, when she was like feeling my belly, couldn't tell, so she had to go get like the bedside ultrasound machine to check. But yeah, her head is definitely down, which is good, and it means that we do not have to schedule an ECV for next week, which I am just tickled pink about.
Yeah, she put the ultrasound wand low, and like I saw a circle show up too, and she kind of looked at it for a second, like made sure, and she's like, "That's a head. This is a head."
And I said, what?
Yeah.
So the midwife was also surprised by that news, which is fun, and she was very excited about it as well. So that's the best news we could have possibly gotten today. She did order another growth ultrasound because I am still measuring small. So they just want to check one more time, make sure everything looks okay with baby, and also make sure that there's enough amniotic fluid, I guess, around her was the other thing they want to check. But yeah, so I'm gonna call and see if I can get that scheduled ASAP, like early next week if possible. Because I also am like paranoid that she's going to flip, even though she was head down today. And if she does that,
Shh.
listen.
Say that.
Listen, I'll knock on some wood. There's no wood in here. This is a car. But if she, I'm just saying, if she were to turn again, I would want to know sooner rather than later so that we still have time to do the ECV, because I think 37 weeks is kind of the sweet spot of when they like to do that if it's needed. So, and then I can always check at my appointment a week from today again to confirm that she is still head down. So anyway, that's the update. Good news. But we could not schedule the induction. That is the bad news. So it's too soon. So they had to wait. My next appointment, I should be able, I think, to get that scheduled. So we will see.